I know some of you guys have been recommending it for a while, so we're here to get into it. Lowkey featuring Logic Relatives. Let's go.
The views expressed in this track.
Hang on, the audio's a little messed up here. Why? Bro, is this the NSA doing their thing? Come on, man. What's going on? Come on.
Are not directly those of Lowkey or Logic. We're just drawing attention
We'll
to
stick
the
with it.
lifestyles which some people lead.
I was born in Bermondsey, one of the south parts.
And I was born in Basra, south side of Iraq.
We used to play football outside in the park.
We used to dodge bullets outside in the dark.
I never prayed, I was told there isn't a God.
I prayed 5 times a day, it's like I live in a mosque.
Me, I'm easy with a pint and some cricket to watch.
They've sanctioned everything we got, so now it isn't a lot.
My mum and dad worked hard, always had employment.
My mum just left and my dad got poisoned. I was young, but I was
Wow.
told that the government did it.
From my heart, I can say that I love being British. I grew with 5 older brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I had a lot of siblings, but some have gone missing. Now it's just me and my little sis.
Britain's
Wow.
got a lot of
So he's you know, he's obviously comparing the lives of 2 different individuals, one being born in Iraq and one being born in Britain, and the stark comparison between what those worlds are like. And you know, based on the time this was made, you know, Iraq had the Iraq-Iran conflict that was in the I want to say late 80s or 90s, so I mean, that ravished the country. You had Saddam Hussein in Iraq, and so there's a lot of people who were critical of him and the way that he, you know, a lot of people called him a tyrant. Some people loved him, some people hated him. I'm not here to make a statement on it, but you know, there was a lot of you know, apparent forced disappearings and a lot of corruption, and, like, you know, so yeah, this is interesting. He's kind of going into the 2 different lives led by 2 different individuals. And Lowkey is, you know, obviously British, but he's well, he's Iraqi, but he grew up in Britain. And so I'm not sure about Logic. I don't know anything about him. This is the first track I've ever reacted to. But let's I'm talking too much. I'll just talk at the end. Let's keep going with it here.
of immigrants. They take our jobs every day. I swear I'm sick of it.
My uncle's trying to get to Britain quick.
I'm trying to find a job.
Me, I'm still illiterate.
Every 2 weeks I'm signing on.
We only had school a little bit.
I got kicked out of school very early, labelled as an idiot.
Before my uncle left us, he gave me his gun.
My girl just gave me a son.
You see, it's hot where I live. Every day I bake in the sun.
It's cold where I live, so I read every page of the Sun. And I'm getting mad with what I look at and read.
I just met a couple elders that are good on their dean.
My dad told me joining army would be good for the peas.
I started meeting, now I'm training with the Mujahideen. Because I'm
Man.
heard that the Westerners are coming with bombs.
I spent months in the regiment training up to be
But
strong.
this is my land, my country, I'll defend it till I
I
pass.
just got the message that they're sending me to Iraq.
Wow.
It's the same fam.
It's all relative.
They cry the same tears.
You cry for your relatives.
I'm one way or another.
I just gotta I'll talk about it at the end of the video. How about that?
My brother, we're all relatives.
Home is where the heart is.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Pain is the same fam.
It's all relative.
They cry the same tears.
You cry for your relatives.
I'm one way or another.
My brother, we're all relatives.
Home is where the heart is.
Yeah, that's where it is. Now I'm in the south of Iraq. It's a smelly place, I don't know who to trust. Everybody's got a hairy face.
And Basra's a scary place, it's worse than it used to be. They dropping bombs every day.
Even little boys shoot at me.
I shoot at white faces and any green suit I see.
Every regiment's lost a couple of troops, we lost 2 or 3.
I still go to pray in the same place the mosque used to
I
be.
see little kids starving to death with no food to eat. But an order's an order, we gotta clean the city up.
They see how we're suffering and still they don't pity us. They shoot us every day, tomorrow is probably me.
We're trying to help these bastards, but it's like they don't wanna be free.
Yeah, these people don't know what freedom is.
I saw my colleague rape a woman against her will, but I didn't agree with it.
I shot a soldier in the face and then I had to run.
My sergeant got shot in his face by some dumb young kid. Now I just wanna go home, that's where my heart is.
My heart is in
Wow. I'll get into it at the end.
Basra, yeah, and never will I part it.
This war's going nowhere, tell me why did we start this?
I'm fighting regardless till I'm resting where Allah is.
Come to think of it, I should've never joined the army. And when I think about it, I don't hate these Iraqis.
I hear bullets flying past me, I'm scared but I can't run. I take my sister upstairs and get my uncle's old gun.
I don't know if it's terrorists or just some civilians, but I've been told to neutralize the threat up in that building.
I see the soldiers, they're about to pass. I take my pistol out and blast.
A bullet whizzes past my face and tears my friend's mouth apart. I saw red, started shooting to make them all dead.
I tried to guard my sister but a bullet hit her
I
forehead.
ran up the steps to see if I buried them all, but all I saw
Was my little sister dead on the floor. Pain is the same,
Jeez, man.
It's all relative.
they cried the same tears.
You cry for your relatives.
On one way or another,
My brother, we're all relatives.
home is where the heart is.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Pain is the same, fam.
It's all relative.
They cried the same tears.
You cry for your relatives.
In one way or another,
My brother, we're all relatives.
home is where the heart is.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Wow. We've still got some time to go here. If you guys don't know who Henry Kissinger was, look him up. Yeah. Hang on. Wow. So I mean, these guys touched on a lot of things. This is typically what I expect from Lowkey when I get into a Lowkey track. He makes me kind of think and examine my own beliefs. I think that's kind of what he wants to do. Yeah, I mean, as far as the message with what he's saying, yeah, it's a tough situation because ultimately, you know, the U.S. invaded Iraq, you know, and then the U.S. goes into Afghanistan, and 20 years later, we're still there. And look, whatever your opinion is on it, I'm not here to express an opinion. I'm here to simply say one thing. Is a long-term military presence in the Middle East going to promote diplomatic relations with the citizens of those countries? Because ultimately what you see is there are many, you know, I hate to say it, but at the end of the day, there's collateral damage in any war. And so if I'm a young kid in Iraq, right, let's just suspend reality. Let's say I'm a young kid in Iraq and my dad got killed. My sister got shot. You know, my family was out, you know, doing something, and then, you know, the drone misfired or it hit the wrong target. And, you know, some other family members, my cousin gets blown up. What do you think's going to happen to me? What did my life goal just become? When ISIS comes to my village, what do you think my life goal just became when American bombs blew up my family? And this is something that I think we need to spend a lot of time considering, and especially with the Israel-Hamas thing going on right now. Say what you will about it. I'm not here to say who's right, who's wrong. What I am here to say is I think Israel's doing exactly what Hamas wants. And I think Israel is playing into a perfect recruitment strategy for groups like Hamas, Hezbollah, what the West labels as terrorist groups. Israel's playing into that right now. I mean, if I'm a kid in Gaza and we still don't know how many civilians have died. You know, I'm making this video November 27th of 2023. We still don't know how many civilians died, but if I'm a kid there, or if I'm a dad and my kid just got blown up by the Israel military, or you know, blown up by an airstrike, and I'm a dad and both my kids just died and my wife is in the hospital, what do you think my mission just became? What do you think my life's goal just became? My life's goal just became to kill an Israeli. That, I don't care what happens to me. You know, I mean, imagine someone who their whole family dies in Gaza. What are you? I mean, Israel is playing into exactly what Hamas wants. And look, that's my opinion. I'm not saying Israel's right. I'm not saying Hamas is right. I'm not saying anything about that. But what I am saying is it plays right into the strategy that I think Hamas wants in the long term, which is a long-term conflict with Israel and an abundance of people to recruit from to fight Israel. And you know, Hamas has their goal with Israel, which is extermination. And now Israel has said our goal is to exterminate Hamas. So I really hope it can be decelerated. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is, you know, I mean, we are all human. And so at the end of the day, these guys are essentially kind of pointing to the fact that, hey, you know, when you can look at other people and view them as your relatives, you know, maybe the world can be a better place after that. And, you know, I agree. At the same time, I mean, the U.S. went over in the early 2000s, and it's like, doesn't our presence there and our drone strikes and our intervention piss? I mean, imagine if the United States was in the scenario of Iraq. We're in the United States. Let's say, I don't know, Slovakia somehow takes over, you know, invades the U.S. to get rid of a terrorist group. In that process, also, there were no weapons of mass destruction. We'll ignore that. Let's say in that process, they kill a bunch of American civilians. Let's say my sister gets killed by a Slovakian, you know, I don't know, soldier. What do you think I'm going to do when you come to my country? I'm not promoting anything, but I'm saying from a rational standpoint, what do you think I'm going to want to do to those soldiers who came into my country and said, hey, we're just going to come in. I mean, the U.S. has been meddling in the Middle East since the end of World War II. The Second World War II, and even during it, it's interesting to look at that history. But look, I'm not promoting one way or the other. I'm simply trying to elicit intellectual thought about the current conflict that's going on. And I'm rambling on, so I will stop the video. If you guys liked, please recommend some things, subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll get to some other tracks. You guys take care.